Hi, I'm Hazel. It's Saturday again, which makes it time to sit down and catch up on the WoW news of the week, what I've been up to, and answer some of your questions. This week, the TBC Prepatch officially launched, albeit a little later than expected. There was a tremendous amount of server downtime. Apparently, the task of splitting the game into 2 games without losing any important data was harder than anticipated. The servers ended up being down for like 10 hours longer than expected, give or take. But they eventually made it up, and people are well underway prepping for TBC and leveling their Blood Elves and Draenei. It's the first time in my memory that they released a blue post explaining what was taking so long, I think, just because of how, there was like a lot of people that were really, really amped to get in and start leveling, and then having it get pushed back and back and back was heightening the anticipation, for better or for worse. So they actually put out a little blurb talking about what it was that was holding them up to that degree. In patch 9.1 news this week, we now know that your currency option from the Great Vault is getting more option-y. If you do not like any of your gear choices, instead of just getting yourself some Stygia, you are now going to get 3 tokens that you can exchange for any combination of Soul Ash, Anima, or Stygia. So 1 token will get you either 250 Soul Ash, 500 Stygia, or 175 Anima. Currently on the PTR, those values are subject to change, and I hope they do a little bit. So you can dump all 3 of your tokens into one of those currencies, or you can mix and match. I would like to see the Anima number bumped up to 250, so if you dumped all 3 tokens in, it would be 750 Anima. I feel like that would feel a little better in light of the other Anima incomes that we have, but minor nitpick. Between that and the fact that there will be new things to purchase with those currencies, we've got some collectibles for Stygia, and then we've got catch-up gear with Stygia. We have Soul Ash being tradable to alts to work on their legendaries, and then Anima's just for Anima stuff, but there is new Anima stuff coming, at least a little bit. Speaking of Soul Ash, I spent some more time on the PTR this week and did some Korthia content and found that bind an account bag of Soul Ash that we know we can buy within Torghast. There's a vendor in Korthia that will sell this to you as long as you have unlocked the 9th layer of Torghast. And also speaking of Soul Ash, in last week's dev interview, we heard that Soul Ash drops are going to be increased by 50% in 9.1. We now know on PTR that number is looking like 82.5%. So all kinds of Soul Ash to get your alts, their legendaries, and to get yourself some more legendaries and to get them all leveled up to rank 4, assuming that you can afford the base items. Another piece of 9.1 news, we are getting the ability to re-roll your mythic keystone, kind of. So there's 2 parts to this. The first one is that if you just don't have a key, but you have at some point in Shadowlands done a mythic dungeon, there's an NPC that they're adding to Oribos that you can just go talk to get a key, so you don't have to run like another mythic just to get your key back. And then if you time a key, that same NPC shows up at the end, and if you are holding onto a keystone that is equal or lesser to the level of the run that you just timed, you are able to re-roll it once. That is not going to work on the key that you just timed because that one would have gone up, and it will not work on a keystone that is higher level, but if it's equal or lower, then you're able to re-roll it just to see if you can get something different. That sounds fairly limited, but I'm sure there's plenty of people that do a lot of Mythic Plus that get just kind of a dead key out of their vault, and then they have a dead key all week, and this means that the first time that they do a run that's equal or higher that they time, they can flip it to try to get a key that is less of a dead key. Also worth noting that you can drop your keystone level like ever, so if you get a very high level dead key and you just want to have something, you could go drop it until it's a level of something that you're going to time and then re-roll it that way. The language implies to me that you're going to get 1 re-roll per timed key, although maybe it's 1 per week, but I'm assuming that every time you time a key you get 1 re-roll, assuming that you're eligible. So this is also, I think, going to be really nice for guilds that are looking to get people Keystone Master, because it's going to be a little easier for you to hunt for a specific key. You don't have to just trust to the weekly vault RNG for that one. Other PTR news, I don't usually dig into class nerfs, buffs, whatnot, because they're just ever-changing and unstable, and it's just an ongoing river that nothing is forever, but it is worth noting the AMZ nerfs are coming along. The fabled AMZ nerf has made it onto the PTR. We now know what it is. It is going up to a 3-minute cooldown down from 2. It is going to have an 8-second duration down from 10, and most notably, it's getting an absorb cap. So after AMZ has absorbed a certain amount of damage, it's going to go away and won't be able to help you anymore. That is just intended to make it a little less mandatory in raids, and having done some Sanctum of Domination testing, I can tell you there's some fights in there that with the old version of AMZ would have made it real important to have a Death Knight. So I think that that's what this is about, although, just rest in peace to our Death Knight friends. And in my life this week, I did some more Path of Ascension, and I got my Master of the Path achievement for the Dark Wing Mog. I put them on immediately once I bought them, and I will wear them forever. I mean, probably not forever, but probably for a very long time. I was wearing the basic Covenant set for ages, so I am wearing those whether I have things that match them or not. That is from doing all of the humility fights with no charms and no braziers, so like an effective 10% health and damage nerf. I have not done Disciple of Humility, which is every humility fight with every champion, and I've decided I'm not going to until at least late 9.1 after we hit the new renown cap. Your soulbind champions will get stronger as your renown grows, so those fights should get easier. And just kind of looking around online at what other people have done, a lot of them seem next to impossible right now, so that one can wait, but I got my wings. I would say that tuning on the humility fights does not feel very level fight to fight. Some of them felt pretty doable, and then some of them seemed nearly impossible. I did end up having to cheese Mad Mortimer like everybody else that I saw, because as intended, the humility timer on that fight is so short that the ice guy's barely even standing up by the time they enrage. And I just don't understand how you're supposed to do it without cheese. Maybe someone's done it, but I haven't found it yet. Oh, and the other thing I did was I went and did a full run of the new Mega Dungeon Tazavesh on PTR. I'll have a video guide out for that before it comes out, but that is a fun dungeon. There are some goofy bosses in there. And questions for this week. John wants to know, as far as flying goes in Shadowlands, do we still need to reach Renown level 59 and do the final quest? So, close but not quite. You need to do the third chapter of the new Covenant campaign, which is available at Renown level 50, so a little earlier than that. And Rob wants to know, do we know what the flying mounts are going to cost in patch 9.1, such as Anima or Grateful Offering, so I can start farming now? So I took a look at the Covenant mounts on the PTR for this. There are more mounts. You're definitely going to need some Stygia at the very least. For the Covenant mounts, the base version you get automatically when you unlock flying. So the default color of your Covenant mount is going to be there for you as soon as you unlock flying. But if you want the recolors, you're going to need some currency. One of them was for Anima. One of them was for Stygia. I could not, however, find anything new for Grateful Offerings on the PTR. That doesn't mean there isn't anything, but I looked and I couldn't find anything else to spend Grateful Offerings on, so for those at least, you shouldn't need to save up. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. And that has been my week. Thank you very much for watching. If you have a question you would like me to answer in a news video, please leave it in the comments of the most recent one, and I will do my best. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye. 0.7. I've done it. I'm done. I'm leaving. You can't make me come back here until not only 9.1, well into 9.1. I'm waiting until my renown is capped.